I love Venn diagrams. I really do. I love Venn diagrams. It's just something about those three circles and the analysis about where there is the intersection, right? Yeah, I see people. You agree with me, right? So I asked my team. I brought props.
Snowboarder Fashion Part 2. Reviewing the 2025 outerwear drops and fashion trends.
Hello, snowboarders of the internet. Welcome back to the second version of Snowboarder Fashion. I did a video like this 2 years ago where I looked at different brands and items and people within snowboarding, and I grouped it on this Venn diagram. I'm going to be doing the same thing now. Going to be talking about some different brands and topics and subjects, and it's been 2 years since I made a video, so there have been some changes within snowboarder fashion. But I'll also be doing a very unoriginal concept, which is a tier list. My opinion on these things as well as where I think they belong on this Venn diagram. Starting things off with snowboarding furries. Snowboard furries are extraordinarily flashy. On the outskirts, probably one of the most flashy items in this list. One of the things that you run into with snowboarding and just being on the mountain in general is people are very brave with what they wear. A lot more brave than they would in regular public. You do see snowboarding furries on the mountain, and this trend is unfortunately just going to keep on going up. It's a huge problem. Furries are still in the better than dope snow tier, which leads us to dope snow. I've made fun of dope snow in the past. Being a dope snow hater is already becoming an old kind of standard take. I made fun of dope snow mainly for their marketing. I didn't really make fun of them aesthetically yet. Aesthetically, these clothes are really ugly. I would not like to wear these Blizzard snowboard pants, men's Stratos pants. Those are lame. I wouldn't like to wear these spray paint pants or these splooge white pants. These are also really lame as well. Yeah, a lot of these clothes I'm just not a fan of. Dope is flashy in a very uncool way, very far away from grungy and hesh. On the tier list, I'm gonna give dope D minus. D minus for dope snow. If you're wearing dope now and you want to change, don't throw it out yet. Save your money, wear that jacket, get as much snowboard days as possible on it until you want to buy a newer jacket because it's torn and ripped, not because some people on the internet don't like dope snow. And just rep out the dope snow until it's broken if you currently own it.
A dope coper may say something like,
well, I don't care if it's a Instagram brand. It's practical, it keeps me warm, and it saves me money. Why would I spend $300 on a pair of snow pants when I could get a dope snow pair of snow pants for, let's find some cheaper ones, $169. I completely understand this take. I think snowboarding should be cheaper. I get wanting to save money, and I would rather buy cheaper stuff than core stuff in almost every circumstance. But this isn't even the case. This is the men's gateway pant. Typically, it goes for the exact same price as the dope pant, but right now it's on sale, so it's $67. You will save a lot more money buying a typically core brand, which is these 32 pants, than you would buying dope. $169 is still very expensive for a pant, because you can find used pants for a lot cheaper. And if you're a beginner and you don't understand the difference between why 32 is cool and has a good perception for them and why dope doesn't, it's really the things that they end up making. This video is called 32 Bone Crusher Snowboard Video. And as you can see, this video is extremely epic. Sick backboard 270 out by Austin Viz. Insane actual death-defying snowboarding here. And if you purchase these Gateway 32 pants, your money, your dollar will be going into funding projects like this 32 video. And if you purchase these dope pants, your money will be going into more targeted Instagram ads for the dope snow company.
Thousands of combinations. Let's build one together. Starting off with the all black base layer. I absolutely love this.
That's the best way that I can explain the difference between your buying power from like a lame company like Dope and a core company like 32. You will support better snowboarding, more core snowboarding if you buy from core brands, and in most circumstances the core brands are cheaper than Dope. 32, they have a very swaggy team. Their clothes are flashy, but there is a grunginess and a heshness to 32 as well. They kind of belong here in the same spot that I put them in the previous video. Montec is the same company as Dope. I think Dope owns Montec or vice versa. If I had to choose between wearing Dope and Montec, I like the aesthetics of Montec a little bit better. Like, this is just an all black jacket. Won't bring a lot of attention to you. Montec is still a Jerry brand, but you will be looking a little bit fresher than Dope in my personal opinion if you had to like choose between the two of them. Montec is extremely minimal and far away from grungy and hesh. Salmon Arms. I made the false claim in the previous video that CG Habitats was the flashiest mate company in the game. This was 1,000% wrong. If you have Lucky Charms or Pokemon stuff or beer on your mittens, you will be standing out. Very flashy mitts. I'm gonna put them on neutral. The reason why I'm giving Salmon Arms just neutral on the tier list is a lot of this is just too flashy for my taste. Go check them out if you're an enjoyer of fun mitts, but for me, a lot of it's just too crazy. I'm not about having fish on my hands while I snowboard. Let's take a look at Beyond Metals. This puffer is very cool. Take note of the price, $160, which is actually pretty fair, and we're going to be comparing this puffer to another one later in this video. This fleece jacket, also very cool. A lot of the park minimal hesh people are going to be eating up these jackets. Let's take a look at their streetwear. You will be looking very sexy wearing Beyond Metals. Beyond Metals is a minimal company with some heshness to them. I think they belong up there. My favorite part about Beyond Metals is how stacked their team is and how creative their videos are. I thought the intro to a snowboard video was dead, but Casino brought it back. Best intro to a snowboard film in easy 10 years. Epic work. This intro, extremely entertaining. And then the snowboarding is far better than the intro. I think we should bring back intros to snowboarding. Let's have more creativity in our snowboarding videos. Make some fun intros that are planned out, not just a little bit of B-roll before you get immediately into street clips. I'm going to give Beyond Metals A tier. So you've probably seen the guy that has really dark baggy pants, a black puffer on, and is wearing some sort of camo dad hat that looks like this. And this is the kind of guy that is like nonchalantly doing 360s onto rails, like an absolute park wizard. And this guy makes camo look cool, but he would also pretty much make anything look cool. I think this guy was existing for like 3 or 4 years, this like nonchalant camo dad hat wearing park wizard, and now camo's escaped just the dad hat. It's gone to jackets, it's gone to bibs, there's camo everything now. Camo as a stock is still on the up and up. It hasn't even got close to peaking yet. I'm already over camo. The first person to do the camo dad hat was cool, dude. But now there's too many copycats. Keep the camo for our army veterans. Let's keep it for our hunters. Anything other than that, camo is stolen valor. It gets better than Dope Snow tier.
We gon' come and blow New Jersey up. Bang, bang.
Jerseys right now have such a bad reputation. What happened with jerseys is they were really cool at one point of time. I think the 2000 to 2010 era was peak jersey. And you have all these swag lords looking hella sick on the mountain wearing jerseys. So because everybody wanted to copy them, you have a lot of people that are struggling getting down blues wearing Dallas Cowboy jerseys. This has happened so much that even Jerry's and beginners are starting to notice that the guy struggling to get down a blue wearing a Dallas Cowboys jersey is not cool. Jerseys aren't cool right now to the core people, and they're not cool to the Jerrys and beginners. They're just completely dead right now, which is why I think they are going to come back. When I look at old footage of jerseys, I am extremely impressed. That is just a nollie. That is a nollie in an Oakland Raiders jersey, and that is the swaggiest clip I have ever seen. I wish I could live through this era of snowboarding because this looks hella gangsta. Here we have a forearm jersey, very cool, swaggy, badass. He's making snowboarding look punk and gangster at the same time. I frick with the jerseys so much, man. And I think jerseys are in desperate need of a comeback. Jerseys aesthetically, very flashy. I'm gonna put jerseys on S tier. Next up, the snowboarding emo or goth person. I know there's a huge fundamental difference between emos and goths, but I'm grouping them together. There has been a huge emo trend within snowboarding recently. I can't watch a modern street video without at least listening to one emo. Really like emos within snowboarding. Emos are goths like in the street to some emo music. It makes sense, but an emo with an icon pass is very funny to me. It's like, oh god, mom, I hate life so much, and then also owns like $2,000 worth of snowboard equipment and has an opportunity to snowboard every weekend. Emo's very grungy and hesh. I wish I was cool enough to pull off the emo aesthetic. Sometimes but I'm not that guy. But I do want an influx of emos in the coming snowboard year. Let 2025 be the year of the goth emo park girl. We need more goth girls snowboarding. That would be a huge plus for all of snowboarding. Emos get S tier. Alright. Arc'teryx has so much hype to it. There are so many rappers and celebrities that wear Arc'teryx. There is a hype beast snowboard following of Arc'teryx, and I get it. Their logo is really cool, and these beanies are pretty hesh and pretty sick. Nothing hesh or grungy about paying $55 for a beanie. I have no idea why this jacket is going for over $1,000, but that's just what you get with Arc'teryx. You'll see a lot of core people wearing Arc'teryx, specifically something like this puffer. I can see a lot of camo hat wearing guys with this Arc'teryx puffer. It is a clean look. There is sort of a swagginess to it, and the logo is dope, but there's nothing swaggy about paying $380 for a jacket.
Especially when you could buy a Beyond Metals puffer for $160 and actually support snowboarders instead of an overhyped brand that doesn't need your money nor support snowboarding.
Arc'teryx to me is more of a mountain brand that's trying to get into skiing and snowboarding. Within skiing and snowboarding, they lean much farther on the ski sort of things. To me, it's a ski brand. As a snowboarder, I don't want my money, especially large amounts, $380 worth of money for a puffer, to go to a more predominantly ski brand. I want to keep more money within snowboarding. Aesthetically, I think it's very cool. Very minimal. Arc'teryx is neutral. This stuff is too expensive for me. I get the appeal of it if you can afford it, and I understand that it's cool because it gets you credit not only on the mountain, but also in general public. When I made the first video, L1 Premium Goods was not on my radar. I had no idea about their existence until I saw Tomorrow World. The first time I saw this video, I was a fan of it. I really did like it. The only issue that I came across was I was skipping through a lot of parts because it had too much B-roll in my opinion. I have a fried Gen Z brain, so the fact that I can't watch a minute of somebody drinking a 40 isn't L1's fault. It's probably my fault a little bit. The real person to blame here is the corporations that have fried our brain and capitalized off of our attention spans. Because pre-internet, I probably could have enjoyed somebody sipping on a 40. After Zuckerberg has warped my mind, I can't enjoy this footage anymore. Besides the B-roll, the rest of the video is fun street snowboarding. And they got OGs. Jeremy Jones in this.
Powder is the second best thing in snowboarding. The first is steel.
It's a fun video besides the B-roll. So aesthetically with their clothes, it's very minimal, very clean. It won't make you stand out too much. A lot of other companies are kind of going with this kind of look. You will be looking like a lot of other people on the mountain, and this Tomorrow World video even acknowledges that.
Bro, look. They look the same.
Let's find a jacket that I like. I'll show you what's really cool about this L1. Word. I need a new jacket. I can't find a button to buy it anymore, so I click on Find Product Locally. What's so cool about this is it encourages you to go to your local shop. I mean, you guys already know why shopping local is good and whatnot. So I think this business model is extremely core. L1's just a minimal, small snowboard company, which I know a lot of snowboarders like that. If you don't want to stand out too much, if you just want to go snowboarding and support a small business, a small core business, you'll buy some L1 premium goods. I'm gonna give them A tier. Next up, let's do 686. I've made fun of 686 in the past video, mainly because they did a collab with NASA and they made a spaceman jacket, which really didn't make too much sense with me. So let's get things started with the women's Hello Kitty collection.
This is my new Hello Kitty snowboard fit from 686, and today I'm going to show you how I wear it for a day of snowboarding.
I can't really explain the overlap in my brain, but there has to be a huge intersection between Hello Kitty girls and snowboard girls. 90% of Hello Kitty girls snowboard, or vice versa. I have no idea, so I'm sure 686 did their research. I think they're probably going to make a lot of money for this. Is it cool? No, but it's not made for me, so I don't even know why I'm being so I don't even know why I'm making this video. Yeah, it's not cool. I want to wear it. It's not made for me. This hat, this Hello Kitty 686 beanie would actually be really fucking cool on like a hard ass tough snowboarder. If Dennis Bonus was wearing this beanie and doing like a 1260 down a street rail while he's all tatted up wearing a tank top and some baggy pants and the red Hello Kitty beanie, dude, that clip would be kind of fire.
We coming down swerving. This the real, not a virgin.
There is some appeal to the Hello Kitty for that. Yep, but 686 is going to make a lot of money with the Hello Kitty collab. Let's look at some other collaborations. Welcome, a much cooler collab. This makes a lot more sense. These ghost pants and this ghost jacket I really like. Next up, Iron Maiden. This collab makes so much more sense than NASA. I'm a huge fan of this jacket. This jacket is metal AF, dude. I can imagine myself wearing this in a blizzard while Iron Maiden is pounding in my ears and I'm just fucking absolutely going berserko mode through powder, you know? That would be so freaking legendary. This jacket is unironically fucking cool as shit, dude. So there is stuff for everybody with 686. They have such a large inventory that you can find stuff that you will like and you will find stuff that you dislike. For that reason, they still belong in the middle of this Venn diagram. But 686 leaves me a little bittersweet in terms of the tier list at the end of the day, because they started off as a snowboard jib brand at Bear, and they've exploded to the point where they are in skiing now, they are huge within snowboarding, and they're working their way out into workwear, like Carhartt, Dickies kind of products, you know? You got a snowboard company that made it, but then you also, when you say it like, well, they surpassed snowboarding, they left their way out of snowboarding. I don't know if that means that they've left snowboarders behind, but they've grown past snowboarding, which makes me feel a little bittersweet. It's like I'm like in a high school relationship, and then 686 is my shoddy that made it big time and now is hanging out with other dudes, you know? And those other dudes are workwear and skiing instead of me snowboarding. That's so ridiculous. But yeah, I feel a little bittersweet in the fact that they've surpassed snowboarding. But, you know, good for them on a business standpoint. They're killing it. What's up, guys? It's the future version of myself here to finish off this video. We have 5 items left. We're already at 20 minutes, so hopefully I can speed run this and get you guys on with your day, because 20 minutes is a while to be watching this bullshit. Next up, we got Drink Sexy. Drink Sexy is, of course, Young Dolly's brand. This is their latest drop. It's already sold out, but out of everything I've looked at so far, this black corduroy jacket has been the only thing that my cheap ass has considered buying. I was wanting to buy it, but it is completely sold out, which makes sense because this is so cool and sexy looking. This would make me look sick AF on the hill doing my mid-ass stunts, and it's also something that would get me a lot of clout and swag afterwards at the bar. I just think this is really cool. Drink Sexy, Young Dolly, he's really pushing snowboard fashion in a incredible way. Very cool, very nice. Drink Sexy is flashy. They have a lot of a nuanced design to them. It's almost inappropriate for me to just call them flashy, but they are flashy in the best possible way. Drink Sexy, I'm gonna give S tier. Alright, we can't talk about Drink Sexy without talking about the man himself, Young Dolly. Nobody wears Drink Sexy better than Young Dolly. He is the best person for it. Why so many people like Young Dolly is, yes, his fits. He really is doing unique stuff within snowboarding fashion, but more importantly, I think it's the contrast of his simplistic riding style to his almost bizarre sort of fits. It's almost a complete contradiction, and he pulls it off in a really cool way. His riding style is effortless, and his fits are effortful. And that sort of clash, I think, is why I like Young Dolly. He mainly rides features that are in every single park in the world, or that you could find naturally just in all mountain. But he does tricks that you have never seen before. Young Dolly's out here doing MBDs all under 540 degrees of rotation, which is so refreshing to see. I think a better model to show off how sick Young Dolly is this model I have pulled up right here. This represents the snowboard fashion metaphysical universe. Up here at the tip top, we have greatness and we have perfection. However, down here we have Earth, and we need to accept the reality of snowboard fashion that no matter how hard you try, you will still be looking like a goofy MFer trying to go down some snow. Young Dolly breaks this earthly reality of ours, and he has ascended to a higher plane. Young Dolly gets glazed here. Young Dolly gets ascension.
DJ Douglas out of his cleats here. Oh, I mean, that cutting ability. This is why he was the number 4 round of high school.
Next up, we have Skull Pants. This is rider 1K the P, and I just saw these Skull Pants and absolutely fell in love with them. A common take that you might hear in snowboarding or skating or action sports in general is that the skull as a symbol is played out. It's done too much. And I disagree with this. The skull has been a sick symbol for almost all of human history, and I don't think it will, nor do I want it to go away anytime soon. Here you have Mary Magdalene's skull, very metal photo. This is in France in a cathedral. This was first put on display in the 12th century. 900 years later, you have slimy, hesh, punk, vert skaters also rocking the skull symbol. If God-fearing Catholics of the 12th century thought the skull was dope, slimy 80s skaters thought the skull was dope, and snowboarders of the modern day think skull pants are dope, then skull as a symbol is probably not going anywhere, and I don't think it should go anywhere either. Skull pants, very grungy and hesh. Skull pants get S tier. Thrift Boards is an online secondhand store of all things vintage snowboarding. This is so cool just from a history standpoint. You can tell that the people that run this website, that run this company, care so much about the physical act of snowboarding, and they also love and care so much about snowboard culture. And I'm extremely happy that something like this exists for snowboarding. If you've ever complained about snowboarding being too expensive, go to thriftboards.com, give it a try, see how cheap you can make a complete setup, because this is the way to go if you are wanting to look sick on a budget. Thrift boards belong in Grungy and Hesh. They get S tier as well. Alright, and finally, we have beanies with additional parts. The opposite of these beanies here, or if this beanie had some tassels to it, or was like long Jester-like, or, had earmuffs. Beanies with some accessories to them. When I have come across these beanies, it's normally a pretty grungy hesh dude smoking some weed wearing a beanie like this. I kind of think it's flashy and hesh at the same time. I'm gonna put these beanies right here. I am a huge fan of beanies with extra parts. I'm gonna give them A tier. That's snowboard fashion summarized. Y'all can look through this list, comment below if you agree or disagree. This is a very subjective video, and I'd like to end on one final question. Does snowboard fashion matter? And I would say yes, it does matter to some extent. Snowboard fashion isn't as important as the physical act of snowboarding, but it does matter, and here's why. Snowboarding has always had the perception that it's cool. A lot of us have got into snowboarding because we either saw it online, we saw it on TV, or we saw it on the mountain as skiers and we were like, hey, that looks pretty cool. And I don't think we would have this perception of snowboarding being cool if the people that we were watching weren't wearing some cool swag. If I would have watched that same street video that I watched for the first time in 8th grade, and all of the riders were wearing like these skin-tight ski race suits, I probably would have thought the movie was less cool and I would have had a different perception of snowboarding. If you could snap your fingers and every snowboarder could only wear this for the rest of time, I don't think as much people would get into snowboarding. I think snowboarding being cool and having a punk sort of perception from non-snowboarders is extremely healthy for snowboarding, and I think that's the reason why so many of us get into snowboarding. You have the idea that snowboarding is cool, and that's what makes you try it for the first time, because it looks cool, because snowboarders have a cool attitude, and they wear dope shit. And then you try snowboarding out for the first time, and you find out that it's fun. Really, what gets you addicted to snowboarding is how much fun it is, not that it looks cool, but what gets you started with snowboarding for so many people is the fact that it is cool. The cooler we look, the more people will think snowboarding is cool, and then the more people will try snowboarding for the first time. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you made it this far, you're probably at 30 minutes now. If you watched 30 minutes of this, please consider subscribing. I'm trying to get 1,000 subscribers so that I can make money and feed my family from these goofy ass videos. Thank you guys. Have a good night.